Can you believe we started Interview Boss in 2021?
Not really. It's insane. That's a lot of episodes and a lot of hours of talking.
Oh my gosh, it is. And if you're scrolling through all of our episodes, you might scroll straight past something that you really, really needed.
Yes, we're always getting messages from people asking us to do an episode on something, and I'm like, we already have.
So we've put together playlists to help you find the episodes that are exactly what you need, suited to your situation.
They're all categorized. If you're applying for jobs, we have episodes about resumes, cover letters, job ads. If you've been offered your dream job, we have episodes on resigning, exit interviews, and how to impress at your new company.
And we even have a very special playlist that's very popular for if you have an interview coming up immediately and you need just our most recommended hard-hitting episodes between now and then.
For all our last-minute listeners. It's all there for you. You can browse by category and check out all the playlists at interviewboss.com.au/podcast.
2022 is the year of going for what you want.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Interview Boss. My name's Emma. I'm a radio journalist, and I've teamed up with my sister to give you advice, inspiration, and support when you're looking for a new job. Sarah is a HR and recruitment professional, and together we're excited to give you guys all the tips, tricks, and behind-the-scenes knowledge to help you in your career.
Hey Em, and welcome back everyone. Happy 2022. And importantly, when you're listening to this, Interview Boss is officially 1 year old. Emma, can you believe that?
Stop it.
Year.
It's been a hot minute. I can't believe it. Also, sorry for dropping off the face of the earth at the end of last year. We did plan on doing a little goodbye episode, final episode of the season and have a little chat, but then life just got in the way. A lot of shit happened last year.
One of us got COVID.
Yeah, Sarah got Rona. She went and got Rona. She is part of the statistics. I'm not. I'm still dodging it. I have come into contact with it so many times and I keep rising from the ashes like a phoenix. I just feel invincible. Yeah. But in my Coles Online order today, I did a click and collect. And last night when I was ordering it, I ordered a heap of medical stuff. I can't explain why. I was like, yeah, this next week's mine. It's coming.
Do you know why? Because literally the government has been like, please prepare a little kit in case you get COVID. So you're just being like a little government goody two-shoes.
No,
doing
I'm
what
telling
you're told.
No, this whole time I had no, I felt invincible. And then all of a sudden yesterday I was like, I'm just going to add some Panadol, Nurofen, Hydrolite to my cart. And I was like, Emma, why am I doing this? And I was like, I think next week's my week. I think it's it. I have a feeling.
It's coming.
So I'm preparing, but it's coming. Anyway, so we're so happy to be back. We have a lot of things planned. It's going to be a great year. Big things for Interview Boss.
We've got our Shoot Your Shot Shoutout is back again. And we've got a little exciting update to take Shoot Your Shot to the next level.
So this week's Shoot Your Shot Shoutout goes to Clare. She said the biggest thing for her was stressing out and being anxious for an interview. We've all been there.
Yeah.
She enjoyed hearing us talk about how an interview is not only about them finding the right person, but also about you finding the right workplace. Having this mindset helped her go into the interview at ease, and she was offered a job the day of her interview. Oh. Congratulations, Claire. We're so glad we could help. That is bloody awesome.
Incredible work, Claire. What we're going to do this year in 2022, at the end of each month on our Instagram page, we'll be choosing one of our Shoot Your Shot shout out listeners that we've given during the month, and they'll be receiving an Interview Boss gift box to celebrate their job search win, whether they were confident during an interview, whether they got offered a new job, whether they got a salary rise, whether they negotiated something, whatever it is, big or small, we're going to be choosing one of our Shoot Your Shot shout out winners, and they'll be receiving a gift box. So much more incentive for you guys to send us in your wins. We'll be announcing the winners at the end of each month on Instagram. So make sure you're following us at Interview Boss. And more importantly, send in your wins. Let us know if we helped you so that you can win one yourself.
Got to be in it to win it. And if we do say so ourselves, the box is cute AF. It's so cute. Obsessed. And a friendly reminder, if you have an interview coming up, check out Sarah's one-on-one sessions. You can find out all about them at www.interviewboss.com.au/coaching, a little hour of power session, deep dive into the resume, go through interview questions, find out your best bits, get confident, prepare yourself.
I've opened up some more time slots as well. So there's some morning time slots. It's a bit more expanded. So if you're not in Australia, you might find it a little bit easier to find a time that works for you. So make sure you check that out. You can see all the availability right there on the website.
Now let's jump in. We thought it would be very fitting to kick off the first episode of the year as the Great Resignation. This is a hot topic. This is a buzzword. I feel like we would have all, especially if you're a job seeker, you would have seen this flying around everywhere, articles, all the hype. But for those who don't know, Sarah, what is the Great Resignation?
Yeah, well, I think let's go to the Australian Financial Review. This is what they said. So the term the Great Resignation was coined in late 2020 by Texas A&M University's Anthony Klotz in response to rising quit rates in the US that followed the pandemic. Once people got a taste of working from home, they realised there was more to life than going into the office every day. And over 2021, those predictions have really come true in the US. The monthly quit rate jumped to 3% in September 2021, the highest level on record. And the total amount of quits, which reflects the number of jobs that workers left voluntarily, hit another record at 4.4 million people in 2021 that left their jobs.
Wow.
So that's a huge amount of people. And I mean, it makes sense, right? You weren't leaving your job with all the uncertainty because you thought, oh, what if I don't get another one? I don't want to be the new person if they're, the new company's going to go cutting jobs and making people redundant. So you kind of stayed put, but even if you were unhappy. And then so once things settle down, well, if you're still unhappy,
it's time to get out of here.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the pandemic for sure caused a total values shift for a lot of people. Like it made you really realize what's important, what you like, what you don't like. I think some people got a taste for working from home and thought, I'm never going back to the office. Like this is what I want. Or people experience, flexible working conditions for the first time because employers were forced to give them out.
Yeah.
As the COVID situation quiets down and they want to bring people back, people are going, hell no, I want to stay how it was.
Yeah. Or moving locations as well, going, I don't want to live in the city anymore. I need more space because if we go into another lockdown, all those kinds of things that people realise they value a lot more. So here in Australia, the Great Resignation hasn't really hit us yet, but things didn't really ramp up for us until the end of the year. And then we had Christmas, and that's traditionally not a time of year where people leave jobs. People kind of, hunker down and get all the public holidays and revisit it in the new year. But there was a global survey done with Microsoft in partnership with LinkedIn that said 41% of staff said they were planning to resign in the next 12 months. That's 41% of your workplace. Imagine 40% of your colleagues all gone within a year. Like, it's almost half. It's kind of crazy. We did our own survey on our Instagram stories at the end of last year, and you guys said that 65% of you were planning on leaving your job within the next year. Obviously, being a job search podcast, we're not a great sample of the broader workforce, and obviously you're listening to this podcast for a reason, but it's clear that it's on a lot of people's minds to be leaving. So we're here to talk about what are you going to do about it? How do we take advantage of this situation? What do you reckon, Em?
So employers at the moment obviously have wind of this Great Resignation and they're talking about how to keep their best team. They don't want 41% of their workplace to leave. They're thinking about flexibility, benefits, salary reviews. So it's really not so bad. It's a time that you can kind of capitalize on this.
Absolutely.
There's ways to take advantage. So we're going to dive in.
Yeah, and we've kind of broken this up into two different categories. So you might want to stay in your job where you are at the moment or the same company. That's fine. Let's talk about some ways to take advantage of the Great Resignation if you want to stay. But let's also talk about how to take advantage if you want to leave your current company as well. So what's our first tip?
So if you want to stay, little lovely one here, ask for a pay rise.
Yeah, we have a whole episode about how to ask for a pay rise that's worth going back and having a listen to. But I think at the moment, this is a good time to be bringing up that conversation. So you want to make sure it's timely. If your company reviews salary at the end of financial year in Australia, so like June, July, get in at that time and get prepared. If your company reviews around kind of February, March, get in around that time of year. If your company doesn't have a set schedule, get in and ask for a pay rise. Make sure that that happens for you if that's something that you're looking for.
Second one, ask for more flexibility. In a lot of cases, this probably was offered to you during the lockdowns and such, especially if you have already done that, to be like, look, I did it for 6 months earlier in the year. I maintained productivity. I did, quantify how you continued to work your job. And if you can show there was an increase even in productivity, my mental health was way better. I felt more focused when I was doing my work. I could do the school pickup.
And this might be in terms of hours flexibility of like you want to work earlier in the day and finish earlier. It might be that you want to work after the kids have gone to bed. It might be that you want to work less days altogether, or that you want to work from home more often from a different location, maybe a different one of your employer's offices, and you want to relocate. Now's the time to be asking for that flexibility and to start that conversation.
And next we have ask for a development plan. Tell us about this. What does that mean, Sarah?
It's a little bit like asking for a promotion, but it's not necessarily so direct. So by all means, if you think that you're really, really there and that there's a level that you can move to now and you're ready, by all means, ask for that promotion. That should definitely be a part of your plan. If you're not necessarily right there yet, but you want to grow and you want to get there soon, ask for a plan to say, I would like to get to X job, or be at manager level, or be at senior manager level, or move into this different team, or whatever it is. I'd like to come up with a plan of what I can do over the next 6 months or 12 months to get ready for that. So whether that might be you want your company to pay for some training for you, to send you on some courses. Maybe you want to do a project with another team or another area, or maybe you just want them to mentor you to help you get to that level. Asking for a structured development plan is going to help them feel like, okay, we've given Emma what she wants. She may not leave now. And also you're going to be on the track to getting what you want. If there's a qualification that you want to get, like Em, for you, that could be, getting voice coaching or getting mentored by a member of another team or something like that. These are the kinds of things that employers will be willing to do for you.
Definitely. And you can also ask to take on a big project. If you've been really interested, wanting to catch your break, lead the team on a new project, this is the time.
Exactly. Because think about it. If people are already leaving, there's going to be vacant jobs everywhere. There's going to be opportunities for you to take on more work. And I don't want you to think about this like, why would I put my hand up to do more? Sometimes you can make it work for you. Like if your colleagues left and they used to look after XYZ, and one of those things is something you've always wanted to do, offer to take it on. And if you can get something out of it and more experience that you can then turn into more money and a promotion later on, which is maybe where you want to go, ask for it.
Also, if you've been fanging for some time off, ask for it.
Yes.
They're going to be really unlikely to say no and deny leave when you've been a hard worker. You're one of the ones that's staying, they want to invest in you.
Yeah, exactly. And look, everybody knows it's been rough. So many people have had holidays cancelled, time off cancelled. Take some time off. I sound like a broken record at the moment at work. Like, take time off, book some leave. And particularly if you're sick with COVID or anything else, take your sick leave. If you're entitled to it, use it. Do not work through.
Who would do that? Who's been working through?
Oh my God, Emma, half the people I know,
with COVID.
Friends, colleagues, everything, who have COVID just keep working from home online.
Besties, no, you're not going to recover.
And do you know what the research says? You're more likely to end up with long COVID if you don't rest.
That's what I was just thinking.
Yeah.
Of course, that makes perfect sense. Your body needs to rest.
Your work
oh my God.
is not worth it. It's not worth it.
No. Well, I'm lucky in a sense. If I get COVID, I can't work from home because obviously studio equipment. But even if I could, I'd be like, I think I'll just take my leave. I have a disease.
Your health comes first. Oh my God. I can't believe I have to say that. Don't be a martyr. Take time off.
Also, ditch tasks you don't like. I mean, you're not going to walk into your boss and say, I'm done with doing this. Figure it out.
Yeah.
But maybe if there's just one part of your job that you really just doesn't energize you, you just don't like it, maybe you can negotiate that it be palmed off to someone else. Maybe you take on something else that you like more.
Yes. And if they're rehiring for another job in your team, again, thinking that if there's going to be vacancies around, if they're hiring for a colleague in your team or another area or something, have a chat to your boss and say, look, this part of my job, I think I can add more value if I take on something different instead. Can we include those responsibilities in this new person's job description? Palm it off on the new
100%.
person.
Palm it off. And then they'll come in and you'll be like, nice to meet you.
Yeah, or maybe they can give it to another department. Just chat to your boss about these types of things. If there's things that you love your company and you love your job, but sometimes these certain parts make you want to pull your hair out and make you want to quit, talk about them. See if there's anything they can do. Maybe they could outsource it or something.
Ask and you shall receive. If you want to leave and you're applying for new jobs, this is going to give you more leverage for more money.
Absolutely. And I think in a market where people are looking for employees and looking for staff, and it's really hard for employers to convince you to take the job, make sure you negotiate your pay on the way in. If you don't do that at the moment, you have the power. This is the most powerful position you'll be in. If you've got jobs scrambling to hire you and you've got multiple interview processes going, you have the power. Make sure you negotiate. We've got a whole episode about negotiating salary. Don't take what they first offer you. Push it.
Push it real good. You can also apply for a promotion if you're in a new job.
Yeah, I think applying for stuff at the moment, if employers can't find someone at the level that they ordinarily would, they're more likely to consider someone who's taking a step up. Does that make sense?
I'm a perfect example of that.
Yeah.
My work was hiring for a while, couldn't really find anyone.
Yes.
Normally, I'm the first cadet they've ever taken on. Normally they want a really experienced newsroom, but because I think of a bit of timing of it being, two people had just left, a bit of luck, but also sort of a hard market, they gave me a go because it's the next best thing. So
exactly. And I know in recruitment and HR at the moment, I'm seeing a lot of that kind of market. They will take a chance on people who don't have as much experience as they would have otherwise looked for. Same thing in retail at the moment. A lot of the roles that I'm recruiting for, if they're really tough, the conversations you start having with your hiring managers are, will we consider someone who's really new at this? Will we consider someone who needs more training, who we can take a step up in order to get that job filled?
Yeah.
And the answer is normally yes, because if the choice is have it vacant or have someone a little bit more junior, they're going to consider someone more junior. So now is the time
definitely to
apply for jobs that are a little bit outside your reach. Shoot your shot. If you meet a couple of those criteria, go for it.
Also on this note, because like we just said, people are more willing to, take someone that's not quite as qualified, it's the perfect time for a career change as well. If you've been thinking about a career change, perfect time. Thank the Great Resignation. Also, because imagine how good it's going to be for your tell me about yourself, your storytelling. Yes. It's a great way to be like the pandemic last year, that was really tough on everyone. Being stuck at home, forced me to realize I wasn't enjoying my job that much.
My priorities.
I had always deep down wanted to try this, but was always held back thinking it was too hard, blah, blah, blah. I've had a shift in priorities. Now it made me realize life's short. This is the time that I want to try. Oh,
write that down.
You've got the job.
Write that down and literally say that word for word in your interviews. That was gold, Emma. You're a natural.
You're welcome. Maybe I should just keep getting new jobs just so I can do the tell me about yourself, because it's honestly a skill. It's a skill.
We'll get you to practice some more. I'm going to get you to be a different character or a different person, and then do the tell me about yourself as that person. We should make it a series. Yeah, we will.
Yeah, it'll be like, I've got to be Darren in construction, 40 years old. And then the next week I've got to be Mary, who's coming back from maternity leave. Oh my God, yes. We'll have to put a question box on our stories, and you'll have to put in there your personal situation. Joe, I want to switch to business, 29. And then I'll get on the pod and do a tell me about yourself. Okay, guys, I'm now taking personalized tell me about yourself stories.
Requests.
Send me the dot points.
We'll make sure you're following us on Instagram, because we'll do some question box submissions on there where you can get in on that, and we'll plan an episode for it in the upcoming weeks. Now, the last tip for if you want to leave your job is be picky and find a job that you love. So if you're in a job at the moment and you're not really that fussed about it, I would say don't resign yet, and don't resign for the first thing that you get. Make sure you're in multiple processes and be picky about what you're going for. If you're in a market that's short on the experience that you have all of the power. You can play them off against each other using our power move strategy from our power move episode and making them give you the better offer and more money and all that kind of stuff. But also you can just prioritize the things that you like and say, oh, that job contains, that responsibility. I don't really like that much. I'm going to go for this other one. So I think it's the time for you to get what you really want and you don't have to just settle.
You deserve it. Never settle for less.
2022 is the year of going for what you want.
We love to see it. That wraps up our episode on the Great Resignation, how to make the most of it if you want to stay or leave your job. We're so excited to be back, and from now on, we'll be back in your ears every Tuesday.
Thanks so much for listening to Interview Boss. If you liked hearing the sound of our voices and our little rants, hit that follow button in Apple or on Spotify, or better yet, tell someone how amazing we are and the fact that they should listen in 2022. That's how we can hit the charts and help even more people. For more advice, inspiration, and a supportive community, check us out on Instagram at InterviewBoss.
If we've been your job search besties and helped you in some way, there's a cool way you can support the show. Shout us a virtual coffee.
We get a huge kick out of reading all of your success stories. Head to buymeacoffee.com/interviewboss and shout us a cuppa.
If you keep us caffeinated, we can keep the content coming.